Whoa. Look how cool they are. Look at this. Nasty. It's so squishy. Ew. What are this? So gross. I got nothing right now. Don't bite me. I want to see him fall through it. Who is she? So just rolling it backwards worked pretty well, I guess. That'll take some time. But now I have all of these. What is that, 4 journals? Sweet. It's actually not that bad. I don't mind it. Don't you love the deckled edges? I was just thinking how it's kind of interesting how I could so easily talk myself out of going to, I don't know, medical appointments or whatever, or driving places, and yet when I'm too afraid to post things on YouTube or to start Patreon or things like that, I still just kind of shut myself off and do it. No matter how organized I am for the Patreon stuff, I always just kind of want to, I just want to do everything and get it done, because I hate having things sort of in progress. I really do. But it's one of those things where I have to do over the month, and it's really hard to be patient. And I don't want to like bombard people with pictures every day, because I don't actually know what people want. There hasn't been too much interaction on the page yet, and I'm really hoping that there will be some very soon. I just need to get more people involved. I think the smaller the room, I feel like the more nervous people are to start talking about things, you know?
Is really good at just like making up characters and like things that don't exist, let's just say. So Julian earlier in the kitchen, we were trying to make banana bread, and he was like, let me be your sous chef, and then went off on this stupid tangent about where that word came from and what it meant.
It was not stupid.
So we were like,
I think having a Yupo sketchbook would be really cool. Unless you were trying to get some realistic coloring. Just love the way that it kind of pools. Like, look at this little jawbreaker-like swirl there. Just drawing some leaf bugs here. Can you imagine having a whole sketchbook made of this stuff? It would be a little bit expensive. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of meant to be not exposed to daylight, so I guess the sketchbook is a pretty good use for it, really. I mean, except that it is transparent, so you can see through it. I don't care. But yeah. Maggie, are you the sweetest? You're not the talkative one. Chicka, 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 chicka. Oh, you're cute. Oh, what are you? Oh, I got electrocuted, Mitten. Come back. Come back. Oh, you mad now? You got shocked? Come back up. See, you're gonna get shocked again.
No, I'm gonna go. Too bad it's cold. No.
My boy. Yep, I already turned the water on, MR. Mm-hmm. Feel peckish?
So, go easy on yourself, get to know yourself, get to know that voice in your head as more than just a bitter part of you that wants to always criticize.
I don't even want to finish this. Regret, regret. I like this paper though. Looks cool. Cream colored. Maybe someday I will want to do this. Maybe one of the Patreon goals should be a printer. I don't know why it's making that noise. This one actually doesn't look too bad. I think the less dark color I print, the better. Because when it gets into dark colors, it starts to look a little weird. You know what I mean? It's not great. What's with this dog here? A little odd. It's not as bad as the other one. But before this. Look at that. I usually want to pump up the brightness, but I guess whatever it was doing before doesn't really do much, so I don't have to pump up the brightness anymore. It's so what is that word? Inconsistent. Also, I started getting a lot of yellow track marks across everything. I've always had some kind of track marks, which might account for the noise that it makes, but it only ever makes those marks if it's the very first print in a set. Like if I printed, like if I had all of these ready to go in Photoshop and I went Control P, Control P, Control P, Control P, so that they all printed in the same like loop that the printer was doing. I would only get marks like this on the very first piece of paper, and then the rest of them would be clean and perfect. But if I print each one of these individually, as I just did, it gets a little weird. Like, look at this. I think it's actually pretty cool how the colors start disappearing along the edges, almost like they're not lined up properly. Like it looks like the cyan isn't getting all the way to the edge or something, because I'm getting a lot of yellow. I'm at 1% magenta now, so that's gonna be a problem. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, blue doesn't go all the way to the edge anymore. It's very fun. It's very fun to try to figure out what's my printer gonna do today. Oh, and thank you for people who have come by on Patreon there. It will be so much easier in a few months when I have a backlog of things, because your dollar increases in value as time goes on, right? It'll get there. I don't have time to get there, but it'll get there. I love this thing. It's so squishy. I can't even remember if this is a kneaded eraser or if it's like a really old ball of sticky tack that's turned gray. What's the difference? You don't know, do you, Mo? Duh! Why? Boy. I see your skinny butt in my face. Skinny butt? Hmm? Butt skinny? Yeah, oh my god. So skinny. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna eat your dinner? Huff. You hate eating dinner, don't you, Mom? You hate it. You're an old boy. You don't want to eat dinner. Who's that? You're so pretty in the sunlight. Oh, he says. What is happening behind me? Maggie? What are you doing down there? You want space to sit so bad that you're gonna squeeze right there? I can feel every breath you take. Am I sitting on your pillow? Because Mila's sitting on your chair. Sunbeams on my buddy's butt. Sunbeams on my buddy's butt. I am not motivated to do anything today, Maggie. I feel like I've done a lot. Not today, but the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've been like working a lot. I made this thing, even though I kind of didn't want to, but here it is. I thought I would use the cat sat thing art collection for journal covers. It's inside, and the paper is still kind of like this, but it'll relax. It'll look like the other one. I don't even know if I listed the other one because I was waiting for it to chill out for a bit. It's not that bad. But yeah, except that in the process I forgot to upload the video for today, and then I got stuck at work and I couldn't do anything about it, so I guess I have to do that now, Mo. I look so disheveled.